Hi everyone, welcome to day number 3 of the 90-day book launch, which is a series of Facebook Live videos that I'll be doing for the next 87 days in preparation of launching my next psychological suspense called Following You, which will be released on November the 16th. So welcome back if you've been here with me yesterday or the day before, day 1 and day 2, where we talked about manuscript feedback, editing. Yesterday talked about book cover design. Today on day 3, we're going to be talking about front matter and back matter. And in case you don't know what that is, front matter is the part of your book that comes before your story begins, and back matter is the stuff that comes after it ends. If you are traditionally publishing, you don't have to worry about putting this stuff together. It's something that your publisher does for you. But if you are self-publishing, which is what we're doing, you have to prepare it. And honestly, a lot of people don't realize that what goes into this and how strategic it can be also, which we'll go into a little bit in the back matter. But what I encourage you to do is take some books down from your bookshelf, look at the books, read the front matter and back matter, Google front matter and back matter to get a list of all the things that you can include. It is different for nonfiction than it is for fiction. We're going to talk about fiction today because that's what I'm writing. And I hope the lighting is a little better today. Yesterday, I know it looked like I was like reporting from heaven. So hopefully it's a little better. I think it is. Anyway, and as always, please introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know what you're working on. Let me know what you're writing. I'd love to hear what stage of the process you're in. And if you're a reader, let me know what you like to read. It's important to build community, which I'm going to talk about a little bit when I get to the back matter also. And so let's build a community. We're all in this together. If you're an indie author, you're really going to be relying on your peers, your other indie author and traditional authors for support and encouragement and hand-holding and sharing good news. So that's what I'm hoping to accomplish here too, building a community of authors. So let's dive into front matter. The very first page you will see in any book is called the half title page, and that really is a page with just the title. The next page will be a title page, and that is the title, the author name, and the publisher or the imprint. We talked a little bit yesterday about imprint when we were talking about the spine, when you're designing the spine of your cover. And I know I said I encourage you to put your imprint name on the spine. So I did get a question later about that. And what I want to say is it's a good idea to come up with the name of your imprint. And this could be anything like Dog-Eared Press or mine is Fine Line Publishing. That the name would go on your spine, and it would also go on the title page of your book and also the copyright page of your book, which is the very next page. And on the copyright page, you'll have the copyright symbol, which you're familiar with, your author name, the date, and then under that usually appears for instance, if you're writing fiction, that's where you write, this story is a pure work of fiction, and even if it resembles people and places, this was made up by the author. After that, and so that imprint name would also go on the copyright page. The next page is called the dedication page, and this is where obviously you dedicate the book to somebody, or usually it's a person. So that's pretty clear. Then the next page, if you want, you may often see an epigraph page. And this is where somebody might quote another author. It has nothing really, it's not tied to the book in any way. It's not part of the manuscript, but maybe it sets a tone or a theme. I actually was considering a lyric line for following you as the epigraph, and then I did a little research on that, and you may know that you can't use lyrics. I mean, you got to stay away from lyrics unless you buy the rights to use. And I thought in an epigraph, if you were quoting the lyric with the writer of the song and the album or whatever came out, and that you would be fine, but that is not correct. And so I won't be using the lyric line. There are no table of contents anymore for fiction. You will use the table of contents for nonfiction. And the only place you really do have a table of contents in fiction is for the ebook. And those are live links, which you're familiar with if you read ebooks. So you don't have to title those chapters. They can simply be chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and you'll include that in the ebook production because you'll want those live links in there. Prologue. So hi Betsy. Prologue. I had a prologue for the memory box, which I'm not a huge fan of prologues, but there I was using one for the first book, and it was really to set the tone because it's a psychological thriller, that book, but it doesn't start off feeling very thrillery. And I was given some really good advice about how to set the tone of the thriller by using a really short prologue. So I did that for that book, and I think it's effective and it works well. And that would go obviously before the book starts. For Following You, I'm not going to have a prologue, so I'm not including that. And then pretty much the book starts. Hi, Deb. I'm so glad you're here too. The book, the manuscript, the story is right after that prologue, and then at the very end, so at the very end, it doesn't really matter the order, by the way, in the back matter as much as it does in the front matter. That order is pretty standard. In the back, there are several elements that you're going to put in the back matter, and it doesn't so much matter where they come. But what I do right after the book is over is I put a series of book club questions. And this is something I thought of for the memory box because I really wanted the power of suggestion there. I wanted people to end the book and see book club or reader questions and think, oh, I should read this for my book club. So I encourage anybody out there who's writing book club fiction or even nonfiction, put some questions in the back. And so when the reader gets to it, they're thinking, oh, I've got to use this for my book club. And honestly, my first book just was huge in the book club circuit, and I am so grateful to everyone who continues to read the memory box for their book clubs, and they're still asking me and inviting me to the book club discussions, which I absolutely love doing, and I've attended over 200 book clubs live. And I don't even know how many on Skype. I mean, apart from that, I've done a ton of them on Skype and on FaceTime and Zoom. So if you have a book that you think would be a great book club book, definitely think of, I would say, about 10 questions. And these are just things that will get a discussion going. To be honest with you, in all of those 200 book clubs that I attended, only one read and followed one by one all 10 of my book club questions. And our our meeting, I'll never forget this. There was a snowstorm. It was in the middle of the winter, and the book club ended at 1:30 in the morning. It was the latest one ever out of all 200, and they stuck by those questions. They read every single one of them, and you know, a lot of very vibrant discussion happened, which is what you want. So it's kind of cool. Definitely include that. After the book club questions, I like to include, well, there should be an about the author page. And this is an opportunity for you to talk about anything related to your writing, where else you write. Maybe you write magazine articles or essays or other books, or, and I like to include a letter or a note from the author where you're thanking your readers. It goes a long way to be grateful to people who have purchased your book or taken it out of the library and dedicated however many hours of their life reading your book. I am always incredibly grateful for that because, you know, as an author, especially a first-time author with my last book, you didn't know if anybody was going to pick it up and read it. So thanking them is a great idea. Nicely asking them if they really liked it. Maybe they would consider writing a review. You could put that in your note. In the ebook, you could even put a link to your retailer pages where they can leave a review. If you make it easy for them, maybe they'll do it. You know, reviews are everything when you're an indie author. I mean, every person who's ever read your book ends up being on your sales team because they're talking about in their review what they liked, sometimes what they didn't, which is gonna happen. Brace yourself. But as easy as you can make it for people to go to your retail pages, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, iTunes, Amazon, Bookshop, and leave a review, BookBub, it's just, it's huge. It's huge. So consider that. Oh, and then the most important part of the back matter is the acknowledgments page. And so this is sometimes hard to write because you're like, it's an amazing thing to write because this is the place where you get to thank all of the people who had a hand in getting that book to where it's at, that published, it's in the world, it's in the universe. And believe me, you guys know if you're writing how hard it is to get to the finish line. And you need your tribe, you need your people and your community. And not all of them are writers. Some of them are family members and friends. Some of them are, you know, experts or people you look up to who've inspired you along the way. Or I actually thanked an agent, a literary agent, who'd rejected me in my first book. I thanked her in the acknowledgments because after I was getting rejection upon rejection upon rejection, I got a rejection from her, but she sent me a personal note and she called me the female Stephen King. And I was just, first of all, I mean, you could have picked me up off of the floor because I think I probably fainted, but that kept me going for a very long time. And you need encouragement because, like I said, sometimes those days are slogs and you need encouragement and you need people to show interest and keep you going. And so that acknowledgments page is super important. Think about all the people that helped you along the way, even if maybe they didn't say the thing that you wanted them to say. For instance, this agent who ended up rejecting the manuscript. But this is a great place for acknowledging all of those people. Let's see, do we have any questions today? Boy, you guys, I'm telling you, you're either really, really on top of all this or you're super shy, one or the other. Although I know you're not super shy because I've gotten several DM questions and which is great. I love getting the questions. But if you put it here, then I can answer it for everyone and we can all benefit. So I encourage you to do that. That's it for today. I'm going to sign off with you and get back to writing my acknowledgments page. And I wish you a good day. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.